Nature and effects of obligations. An obligation, under Article 1156 of the Civil Code of the Philippines, is a juridical necessity to give, to do, or not to do. It is a legal duty enforceable by the creditor when the debtor fails to comply. Rights of the creditor and duties of the debtor-creditor's rights. 1. Demand fulfillment, Article 1165. 2. Claim damages for breach or delay, Article 1170. 3. Use legal remedies to enforce compliance. Debtor's duties. 1. Perform the prestation. 2. Preserve the thing with proper diligence. Article 1163. 3. Refrain from acts prohibited. 4. Pay damages for fraud, negligence, or delay. Obligation to give. Determinate thing. Deliver the specific item with its fruits, accessions, and due care. Arts 1163, 1166. Generic thing. Deliver an item from the agreed class. Genus never perishes. Obligation to do or not to do to do. Perform an act. If not, creditor may have it done at debtor's expense or claim damages. Art. 1167. Not to do. Refrain from an act. If violated, creditor may have it undone or claim damages. Art. 1168.
Grounds for liability for damages. Liability arises when an act, tort, omission causes harm to another 3 grounds. 1. Negligence, carelessness. 2. Fault, culpa, wrongful act or violation. 3. Breach of contract, failure to fulfill an agreement. Examples, grounds. A driver hits someone because he failed to brake, negligence. 1. Intentionally breaking someone's property, fault. 2. Failing to deliver a paid order, breach of contract. Delay, definition, failure to perform an obligation on time. Kinds. Mora solvendi, delay by the debtor, mora accipiendi, delay by the creditor, compensatio mori, delay by both parties. Effect, liable for damages, penalties, or interest. Fortuitous events. Definition, events beyond human control, acts of God or man. Examples, earthquake, typhoon, war, fire, strike. Requisites, 1. Independent from human control. 2. Impossible to foresee or prevent. 3. Obliger did everything to avoid harm. Fortuitous events, rules and exceptions. General rule, no liability if caused by a fortuitous event. Exceptions. 1. There is negligence. 2. Contract states liability still applies. 3. Delay already existed before the event. Usurious transactions. Definition, loans with excessively high interest rates, illegal. Example, borrow P 10,000, charged 20,000 in 1 month. Rule, unconscionable or excessive interest is void. Summary, liability arises from negligence, fault, or breach of contract. Delay, damages, penalties, or interest. Fortuitous events exempt liability, except negligence, contract, or prior delay. Usurious transactions, just illegal and void.
Presumptions. Definition. In law, a presumption means the court or the law assumes something is true until someone proves otherwise. Example, if a person has been missing for 7 years, the law presumes that the person is already dead. There are 2 main types of presumptions in law. First, conclusive presumptions cannot be challenged. For instance, a child under 9 is deemed incapable of committing a crime, regardless of evidence. Second, disputable presumptions can be contested. For example, possessing stolen property implies theft unless you can prove otherwise with a receipt. When presumptions do not apply, when there is clear evidence against the presumption, when the law itself provides exceptions. Example, normally, if a letter is mailed, the law presumes it was received, but if the addressee shows proof, like CCTV or witness, that the letter never arrived, the presumption is not applied. 2. Remedies available to creditors, meaning a creditor is a person who has the right to collect money or property from another person, the debtor. If the debtor does not pay, the law gives the creditor several ways to enforce payment. Remedies explained. 1. Action for collection of sum of money. The creditor can sue the debtor in court to demand payment. Example, If someone borrows 50,000 pesos and does not pay, the creditor can file a collection case. 2. Execution of judgment. After winning a court case, the creditor can ask the sheriff to seize the debtor's property to satisfy the debt. Example, if the debtor owns a car, it can be seized and sold to pay the debt. 3. Foreclosure. If the loan is secured with collateral like land, house, or car, the creditor can sell that property. Example, if you stop paying your car loan, the bank can repossess and sell the car. 4. Action subrogatoria, subrogatory action. If the debtor refuses to use his own rights to collect from others, the creditor can step in and sue in the debtor's name. Example, a debtor is owed 100,000 pesos by his friend but refuses to collect it. The creditor can go after that friend to collect since it would help pay the debt. 5. Acción Pauliana, Paulian action, used when the debtor fraudulently disposes of property to avoid paying creditors. Example, a debtor gives his house to his brother as a gift just to avoid paying his creditor. The creditor can file a case to cancel that transfer. 3. Transmissibility of rights. General rule, rights and obligations can be passed on to another person, usually through inheritance or contracts. Example, if a person dies, his children inherit not only his property, but also his debts. Exceptions, rights that cannot be transferred. 1. Personal rights. Rights tied to the person himself. Right to vote cannot be inherited. Right to hold public office cannot be passed on. 2. Right to receive support. Food, shelter, and education support is personal. Example, if a child is entitled to support from parents, he cannot transfer that right to a friend. 3. Partnership membership. You cannot just inherit someone's place in a partnership without the consent of other partners. Example, if your father is a partner in a law firm, you cannot automatically replace him when he dies. 4. Conclusion. Presumptions help the courts by providing shortcuts in proving facts, but they can either be disputable or conclusive. Creditors are protected by the law and given many remedies to collect what is due to them, even if the debtor tries to avoid payment. Transmissibility of rights shows that while most rights and obligations can be transferred, highly personal rights stay with the individual.